The OpenBSD vulnerability discovery. Anthropic just confirmed its Mythos model identified a 27-year-old remote crash vulnerability in OpenBSD that had survived 3 decades of human and automated audits. This single discovery forced a rethink of what we call a frontier model, because it did not happen via a lucky guess. Instead, the model autonomously synthesized the exploit chain from raw source code using a reasoning scaffold specifically tuned for software security. The data released this month shows that Mythos did not just find one bug, it flagged 23,000 potential vulnerabilities across 1,000 open-source projects. This performance effectively doubles the results of the best available models from late 2024. The success of this discovery points directly to the model's underlying architecture. Architecture of the Cyber-Inference Gap. Mythos utilizes a 1 million token context window paired with a reasoning step that prioritizes state space exploration over next token prediction. Unlike standard Claude 4 models, the Mythos architecture incorporates dedicated inference steps for reachability analysis. This allows it to trace execution paths through complex C codebases that standard static analysis tools ignore. Think of it as a model that does not just read code, but executes a virtual mental model of the program's memory state to find edge cases. This specific mechanism is why the model is saturating the SWE bench-verified benchmark at 93.9%. It creates what researchers call the Cyber-Inference Gap, where the model can infer a flaw faster than a human can verify it. This efficiency is exactly why Anthropic is gating the model behind Project Glasswing. The Project Glasswing defensive gate. Anthropic is currently restricting Mythos to roughly 50 vetted organizations, including Mozilla and Palo Alto networks, to avoid the risk of mass exploit generation. This defensive strategy aims to give software maintainers a head start to patch vulnerabilities before the model or its open-source clones reach the public. While OpenAI scaled its defensive cyber model to thousands of users, Anthropic is betting that a tight circle of high-tier partners can close critical holes more effectively. However, this gate has created a massive bottleneck for the global security community. Critics argue that holding back the model does not stop the capability from emerging elsewhere. It only ensures that only the largest corporations have the tools to defend themselves. This concentration of power has caught the attention of federal regulators. White House and Pentagon friction. The White House recently blocked Anthropic from expanding Glasswing access from 50 to 120 organizations. This marks the first time the executive branch has informally capped an AI rollout citing national security risks. The tension reached a peak when the Department of Defense labeled the company a supply chain risk. This label followed Anthropic's refusal to grant the military unrestricted access for autonomous weapon systems and domestic surveillance. By prioritizing safety alignment over military contracts, Anthropic has entered a legal battle in the Northern District of California that could define how private labs control high-capability software. This geopolitical friction is a direct consequence of the model's offensive potential. The real implication. The emergence of the Cyber-Inference Gap proves that model capability has officially outpaced organizational remediation cycles. By referencing the OpenBSD discovery and the Project Glasswing access restrictions, we can see that the barrier to entry for high-tier security work has shifted from human expertise to compute-heavy inference access. For builders and engineers, this means the competitive advantage is no longer just having a good model. It is having the vetted credentials and hardware infrastructure to run these reasoning-heavy scaffolds at scale. The software industry is entering an era where the patch window has shrunk from weeks to hours, making manual security audits obsolete. This shift transforms security from a human-led advisory role into a machine-managed infrastructure requirement. Watch the upcoming federal court proceedings in June, as they will determine whether a private company can legally withhold these defensive capabilities from the state. The outcome will set the standard for how frontier models are rationed across the global economy. Subscribe for more